Good morning, everybody. I mean, what's cracking? It's Ralph here. It is currently so early that my watch is still asleep. It's 4:30 or 4:20 in the morning, and today we are taking you on a safari, but not in Africa, of northern New South Wales. And I thought you could come along for the road because there is some beautiful scenery that we would love to show you. Let me just show you the points that we have in store for this morning, well, for today, because we're going to go out all day and be back by like 7 p.m. So it's a cracker of a day, and I would strongly encourage you to do an all-day photographic adventure if you have the chance, or plan it in, book it in and do it. So here's where we're heading. We're heading to Currumbin Alley to start off with, which we've been to before. Then after that we're going to the lighthouse in Byron Bay. Then we're going to go to the farm outside Byron Bay, followed by Killeen Falls. After that we're going to go to Bangalow, then Hastings Point Lookout, followed by NORRIES Headland, and we're going to end with sunset at Snapper Rocks. That's the plan. Now, things may go haywire, as they often do, but we're going to give it a crack and have a great day. So I hope you can enjoy some of the scenery and some of the photographic nuances and skills that perhaps we can develop as we go along. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so. If you'd like to give us a thumbs up, always appreciated. And let's get into it. Alright, we're wandering down to Currumbin Rock. Have a look at the sky. Look at that. Beautiful glow. It's currently low tide, which means there's not going to be a massive amount of water smashing the outside reef. But the sky looks fascinating, and that's what we'll do here. This is the rock. I know there's a number of different angles you can take, but I think I might shoot on the far side of the rock, so like to the left of the rock with the clouds in the background, and we'll shoot down the beach. So we'll see what we can come up with. Often this is completely and utterly covered in water, but not this morning. Never seen it this low before. Here is the rock. Might be a familiar shape if you watched any photographic content from the Gold Coast. And then it has these beautiful fingers that stretch out. And so I'm gonna go all the way down here, catch the ocean back spray. This is called the alley, and it's an epic surf break that just comes in from here. And as the morning goes on, the surf's really tiny today, probably because it's low tide, but as the morning goes on, that'll just fill up entirely. Oh, let's get into it. This is beautiful. What I'm keenly interested in this shot is two things. One, I mean, the rock and the sky are beautiful, but down here we have this beautiful like water that's left over from high tide that's glistening in the morning sun, and what I want is a human element to walk just there to fill out the shot. It shouldn't be too hard. I might actually go do it myself, to be honest. All you do is put a timer on and run like hell. In order to put a human element in there, I put my ISO on 500 because I know on the Z9 that 500 after 100 or after 64 is the best option for ISO. There's this web page you can go to which tells you about ISO versus noise ratio, which is very, very helpful. We'll give it a crack jack now, and this is the photo that we come up with. Because of that, I've got my shutter speed set to a faster shutter speed for the human element. So I know I'm going to have to go another couple of, like another stop or so as the beautiful colours in the cloud come, so we can capture all the colours plus some maniac waving his arms just over there. Oh, back. Nice bit of exercise. I just jumped on the iPhone to record something quickly. This is one of the few occasions you can actually get this far out. Because it's such low tides, you can never shoot from this angle, so I can actually get this in the foreground with the city and the beautiful pastel sky in the background. And this is kind of what's raging behind me. And I've even got this option, I can go even further out. But as you go with these things, what you want to do is work your way around your subject. And so I started on the other side, and I've worked my way around to here, and taken a number of different creative shots that I've not seen before. That's the beauty of coming to a place that you've frequented a lot. You can take some creative shots. When I'm exposing for a sunrise or a sunset, I'm seeking to preserve the highlights. The highlights are these white things. It's just the light in the photograph rather than the dark in the photograph. And if I can preserve them, I can bring up the shadows in post. That means post-editing, as opposed to exposing for, say, the rock and losing the highlights. Now, the computational ability of the phone enables that all to happen straight away, but it does give that slightly unrealistic vibe. But coming right out here on the point, I can get one of the views that I've never seen, and it's beautiful. So here it is. So here is the beautiful Byron Bay. We're going up to the lighthouse now. But the challenge with Byron Bay Lighthouse is there's hardly any parking, and you have to pay for that which you had. And so as we drove up here, you just can't park. And so if we don't park here, we've got to walk up the entire hill. And it's just a long, long way. But just to give you a bit of a taste and a feel, this is the views that we're in for. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Here is the lighthouse. You have that beautiful leading line coming in, and there it is propped up on the hill. Just glorious. And what I'm going to do as I shoot this, I'm going to slightly overexpose every shot. Beautiful morning sun, should come up really, really nice. And as I move up closer, we have a leading line that just draws you straight to. I'm going to use the railing. Got this railing just here, so I'm going to use that as perhaps a leading line like this. It just points you to the lighthouse, and then you've got this interesting kind of road that's here. If I zoom in on that, see, that's actually pretty cool as well. So there's a few different options here as we look upon that beautiful lighthouse. Alright, so how many times have you shot Byron Bay Lighthouse before?
Probably only 2 times before.
2 times?
Yeah.
What are your tips?
My tips are, well look, you're very limited in where you can actually go, because obviously there's a good fall from cliff faces around here.
It's true.
So essentially, I'm looking for leading lines, but in addition to that, I'm also looking for different angles, different perspectives on something that's been shot a million times over. So it's trying to work out, is there different things that you can capture, and maybe even having some individuals in the frame. So there's lots of people walking and exercising up here, and they can add a human element to shooting this area.
Yeah, it's madness, the number of people here. What camera are you using?
I have got, I'm shooting actually on my Canon R5, but I also have my Fuji 100XV.
So talk to us, what's unique about the Fuji?
The Fuji is my point and shoot camera. It's 35mm fixed, f2, and I just love it. I love it with the ease of it. It's quite easy to just basically carry around. It's very inobtrusive, so people are not too concerned by it, as opposed to my 70.
You're saying these aren't inobtrusive?
As opposed to my 70 to 200 that's on the R5 at the moment. People can get a little bit freaked out when they see that type of lens.
That's true. Yeah, they think we're professionals.
Yeah.
Classic. So I'm just here. Lighthouse is behind me, and what I'm actually going to do is going to put on a telephoto to get some of the detail of the lighthouse. Often you think with a lighthouse you have to shoot it wide and you have to get capture the whole thing of it, but I'll show you a couple of images now and you will see undoubtedly, you'll go, I know that's a lighthouse. And every lighthouse is different, so if you know Byron Bay Lighthouse, you'll know that these images are particular to Byron Bay. But just to show you what's possible when you're looking for something new and different to capture something that has been seen a million times. We are just blessed with some incredible scenery here in Australia, and I feel like I've underdone you guys by not displaying enough of it on this channel. It's partly what's behind today's vlog. Well, do you like shooting lighthouses? I'm not convinced that I do. Put in the comments below if you're up for it or not. There's just a limitation about it that I don't like. Yeah, you can't have good access. It's stationary and stable. You're the subject to the elements like the lights and everything. But it's always a good challenge, isn't it? So we're now going to hop in the car and go on to our next destination. So now we're at the farm in Byron Bay, which is open 364 days a year with the exception of Christmas Day. And this is all about growing its own produce and then eating that produce, educating about that produce, and creating that sort of life-sustaining cycle, which I'm a proponent from. I think that's amazing stuff. And so it's been set up, it sits outside of Byron Bay in a beautiful area. Got a little bit of cloud cover now, which is good, so we're not getting cooked. And just gonna mosey around. Got the sunflowers. And so we're going to just take some interesting shots, but what I want to say about this, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it, is that what I'm going to do is put on my 24 to 70, gives me an amazing range of focal lengths, and with that, just going to see what there is to capture. But there's different animals, there's different beautiful flowers here. There's some kind of that rustic feel. That's where we had brekkie just before. I had a pork and fennel sausage roll, which I wonder if the pig was theirs. Yeah, little porky that we ate. Who knows? Alright, here's some images. so noisy. Cicadas, crickets.
So I'm vlogging on the Z30 today, the Nikon Z30, and let's see how well the microphone, I've got a mini micro Rode mic on top. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me because it's so noisy. I'm in a cave, and that's Killeen Falls just there. Unfortunately, there's a ton of people swimming, so I can't do anything about that. I've got a CPL filter on my camera, but I need to be really careful in showing you because the floor is wet and slippy, and I don't want everything to go A over T. So this is a NISI filter kit. I have a CPL filter on, which does this. Watch this. Turn the CPL. It gets darker and more saturated. The glare goes away, and then you keep turning, and all the glare comes back. So we want to secure it just at its most saturated and least glary point, which is just there. When you put a CPL filter on, you usually lose the stop of light, which in this situation is really good. But I actually want to catch some of the shadows. I want to hold them. As well as some of the highlights, which is everything out there. So you see it really highlighted, really shadowed. I want to get that sort of exposure with that kind of exposure out there. And so to do that, I put it on 2 seconds, which with this sort of velocity of water, all you actually need to do is have it for like a half a second, and it'll be really nice. So I run the risk of making it too mushy, but I want to capture the highlights and the shadows. So we're going to try that. I've got an aperture of 13 on this lens. Its maximum aperture is 16. I don't like shooting at a maximum aperture, so I've brought it back. It's on an ISO 64, so the lowest 64 it can go, and I'm going to shoot that shot now, and this is what it looks like. Now, one of the challenges, because of all the people, if you put it on a long exposure, so I can actually drop in a couple of stop filters here, and that would delete the people that are moving, because as they move, they're just lost. But the problem is, if you put too many stops on and you extend your shutter length too much, what happens is the waterfall actually vanishes and becomes too mushy and too unappealing. So what I think I'll do is go back into Photoshop, take all the people out, and that's what this shot looks like. When I'm composing this shot, just have a look at it. When I'm composing, I want to like hug the shot in, and so I'm using the cave, the top and the bottom of the cave to hug in the water hole and the waterfall, and then I'm using that tree on the right-hand side to pull it all in, and that forces you to be drawn into the photo rather than just shooting a waterfall plain as can be. So I really like this perspective, and I'm going to have a bit of a play with it. So I'm going to go and take a few more shots around using the techniques that I've talked about here, and well, I'm going to put up a montage of what they look like.
So that was Killeen Falls. How did that rank out of your waterfall scale?
Oh, geez, I would rate it a 7.
7? Hold on, 6? Yeah, go on, go.
No, I thought the easy access.
True, yes.
It was very popular. It's a very hot day today, so
yes.
Definitely worth a return visit much earlier in the day and possibly in winter. Definitely worth a visit again.
Definitely. It was good to be able to get behind the falls though.
Absolutely.
There's a benefit.
And almost you can go 360 all around.
That's true.
Probably about 270 degrees around the waterfall area, so that's a bit of a plus as well. It's nice scenery on the drive here too.
It's true. Yeah, I shot all of that on a 20mm, and I probably could have changed it up a little bit. You were shooting 70 to 200.
So I started off 20mm, and then I thought I'd get a little bit more of a close-up on the waterfall. So shooting roughly about 1.5 seconds, just to give it a little bit of movement but a little smoothness to it. And underexposed as well, just to see the effect. So I'll be interested to see what it looks like in post when I get into the computer and play around with a few things.
And we're off to Bangalow now, so the adventure continues.
chose the hottest day of the year to actually venture out. Gosh, it's gone from heat to heat to heat. But we are now in Hastings Point, walking up. Hastings Point is sort of situated off Casuarina or Cabarita, which one? Cabarita. Always get confused, they're basically next to each other in the same deal. Anyway, these are pandanus trees that we're walking amongst. And I know this place because I once did a engagement shoot here. Not my engagement shoot, but yeah, it was pouring with rain and overcast. And today is exactly the opposite. So thinking a bit of drone action, and going to bring out the telephoto. I've got my 150-600. We're going to crank that bad boy up, and I'll put a teleconverter on, which is a 1.4. Should blow it out to about 750. So we'll see how we go, and yeah, walk up the top, see what there is to take. So we're up here on top of the point, and as you can see, it's just spectacular. And we've already had an Osprey just cruising around in the thermals. Here's a couple of shots of him. That was taken during the dismay of finding out that my teleconverter that I bought for a Z-mount doesn't work on any of my F-mount lenses, although it does connect to my Z-mount on the camera. So basically just wasted money. So I've got to get that changed over or sorted or fixed out or something, because I can't afford one of the Z-mount zooms that come in at like $10,000 or whatever ridiculous amount it is. Anyway, we're just waiting for him to come back, because now we're a little bit gun shy to put the drones out. In case that does, call him back. Do you want to put your drone out? That would be team sport. So put your drone out and I'll take a photo. I'll get one of those photos of the eagle smashing a drone. That'd be exciting. It's always expensive for, well, not the photographer, but the other guy. That was a little bit intense. Yeah. Climb down a cliff to I was trying to catch the Osprey. I was going to take it home, just like nurse it like a chicken, but flew off before I got there. And we're doing a count about how many photographs you're taking today.
About 280.
280. 280. 2,800 for me, thank you. It's yeah, I think the better photographer you are, the more photos you take. It's correct, isn't it? Yes. When you're shooting large birds of prey, you want to have a really fast shutter speed, because they move fast and you have to move fast. So you really want to capture that movement in all of its detail. When I'm shooting with a 600 lens, I usually shoot at 300, and then when I've caught the bird, I've pinned the bird down as it's flying, I'll then zoom into 600. It's much easier than trying to pick up a bird at 600, which can really be a challenge. I use a tracking function. I use continuous autofocus, auto ISO, and usually it's in the middle of the day, so it gives pretty good results. If you've got any questions about that, yeah, let me know. Well guys, we've taken an interesting turn of events. This is D-Bar. Just behind me over here is New South Wales, so we're just inside Queensland, and we were going to shoot snapper. Snapper is around the corner here, but we drove past it and it was just flat as a tack. There was nothing happening, and snapper's good when the surf's pumping. It's epic, but there was nothing. And then D-Bar's good when the surf's pumping, but there's nothing. So that might wrap us up. for today. I hope you've gained a lot of appreciation for this part of the world. I hope some of the photos and images really spoke to you and really connected with you and you really enjoyed them. I want to thank you for watching this video. It's kind of a different sort of video, but I wanted to take you out with this adventure with me, and I trust you've had a blast, you've learnt some stuff, and if you've got any questions or you want to contribute anything to this journey, put it in the comments below. Leave a like, thumbs up, always helpful. You can ring the bell, you can join the channel, you can subscribe, or you can just give me a virtual high five and go about your day. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll catch you later. Bye.